Welcome to Freethought Matters. I'm Dan Barker. I'm co-president of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, a state church watchdog that is also the largest association of freethinkers, that's atheists and agnostics, in the United States, with more than 33,000 members. You are welcome to join us in our vital work so that reason and our secular constitution will prevail. You can become a member or simply ask for more information, including a sample of Freethought Today, at ffrf.org. Armin Navabi is an Iranian ex-Muslim atheist activist. He's a podcaster and he's an author. In 2012, he founded Atheist Republic. It's an online community that now has hundreds of branches in several countries around the world. Atheist Republic enables non-believers to interact with each other in places where criticism of religion is often repressed and criminalized. His book, Why There Is No God: Simple Responses to 20 Common Arguments for the Existence of God, was published in 2014. Armin is also the co-host of the podcast Secular Jihadists for a Muslim Enlightenment with Ali Rizvi. Armin, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a real pleasure to see you again. So before we talk about Atheist Republic and all the good work you're doing there, let's talk a little about you. You were raised Muslim, is that right, in Iran?
That's right. I was raised in a Muslim environment. I was in a very liberal family, but my school environment was very religious, just like most other people's environment at that time, and still today. So yeah, I was exposed to two completely separate ideas that were contradictory. And I went through phases of being very liberal and also very religious, and actually becoming very religious at some point, against the wishes of my parents, which is actually it's strange because most ex-Muslims deal with the exact opposite. Like, my experience is a bit different. Most ex-Muslims dealt with religion. A lot of ex-Muslims deal with religious parents. My parents had to deal with a religious teenager that couldn't shut up about Islam and how they need to stop drinking alcohol and pray and fast. So I actually remember that when I eventually became an atheist, I told my parents that I'm an atheist now. Their first reaction was, "Oh, thank God."
So you were one of those kind of guys. Your family was, you were Shia Muslim, right?
Yeah, my parents were nominal Muslims. The way I define nominal Muslims are people who are just like Muslim by name. You know, the only time they see inside a mosque is when somebody's getting married or someone just died. They don't fast, they don't pray. There's nothing much about their life that looks Islamic. If you ask them whether they're Muslim, they say yes, but that's basically it. So they were nominal Muslims, right? And I remember from very early on, I couldn't, I wanted to live true to my philosophy. Even before going to elementary school, I remember when I first was introduced to the idea of hell, I started panicking and being terrified. I remember crying about it. I remember wondering, not wanting to go to hell. And I didn't understand why other people weren't worried. I remember my aunt, who used to live with us at the time, saw me crying, and when she figured out I was worried about going to hell, she told me, "Oh, don't worry, Armin, only the worst people go to hell, only the murderers and rapists. You don't have to worry about that." But then when I went to school, they actually told us something completely different than my aunt. They're like, "Oh no, most people are going to go to hell, including most Muslims. Almost everybody, unless you're a prophet or an imam, one of the 12 Shia imams who are ma'soom, then you're going to have to burn at least for a couple of thousands of years before you go to heaven for your sins." And I was like, yeah, so that was terrifying. And to me, even as a child, I couldn't understand why that was like. It's everybody around me believed in hell. Everybody around me believed in hell, but nobody seemed worried. they seem to be worried about their careers, about their grades, about next week's party, whether the couches matches the curtains. But I was like, guys, you guys, like, everybody here believes that there's a place that most people are going to end up in, and they're going to be either be burned for eternity or for hundreds of thousands of years. And nobody seems to be doing much about it to avoid going to that place. And I was like really trying so hard to be like, okay, these people are insane. Nothing seems to be a higher priority than avoiding going to this place. I didn't even care about going to heaven. I just wanted to make sure I don't go to hell. I actually remember as a kid, I actually lit a match on fire and I put it on my arm just to see how much it hurts. I actually still have the burn mark. And I just wanted to, but then I half a second of burning, I was like, I can't even, I used to be like such a wimp. I couldn't even tolerate that. I was like, I can't tolerate half a second of this. And then I tried to imagine that all over my body. And then I tried to imagine that for 10 minutes. And then for a year, for thousands of years. There's no crime that would justify this.
Well, that's the Quran and that's the Bible, isn't it? I debated some Muslim scholars once, and one imam told me that I was going to burn in hell forever, and then he started laughing. Like, he started laughing at me because of that. So did you actually, like, was it just hell, or did you actually believe you were talking with this deity, with this Allah God? I mean, were you really praying to a real person, or were you just doing the 5 pillars?
Oh, no, I wouldn't do, I was never a person that would just do things for the sake of doing them. Like, I wanted to, like, I was very consistent with I couldn't understand why other people weren't, right? I couldn't understand why, if people believe this, why do these actions that would be based on that philosophy follows, they weren't doing those things, right? So yeah, I would never like just talk for the sake of like.
So what happened? So what happened then, Armin? Obviously you changed your mind. There's a story about jumping out of a window, but now you're an atheist, so something must have happened.
Right. So again, this idea of trying. Okay. So we as kids, again, I know that this is not what all Muslims are told. Every time I say the story, some Sunnis jump out and be like, "Armin, this is a false version of Islam. You were never a Muslim." Okay. So whatever those people say, this is what we were told in Iran, in Shia Islamic school of thought. Based on we were told that based on so this is the part that they all share. Children do not, there's no sin for children. Like, you know how in Christianity you're born with the original sin? That is not true with Islam. In Islam, you're born pure, no sin, okay? And once you hit the age of reason, that's when your sins start counting. For boys, the age of reason, this is the part that is different based on the different Islamic schools of thought. What we were told is, like, for boys, the age of reason is 15, for girls is 9. That means that before hitting age of 15, I have no sins.
Because girls are smarter, right? Girls must be smarter than guys.
That's what they told us. That's what they told us. That's the reason. But later on, I realized the reason is probably has to do more with the age of reason, because you have to be able to consent at the age of 9.
Oh, so for marriage,
For marriage. So, again, but they told us, like, oh, look how feminist Islam is. Women are smarter. But then I realized, no, this is about something else. Anyways, so suicide is a sin in Islam, right? It's a major sin. But they also told us there's no sin before age of reason. So I just put 2 and 2 together. Nobody told us this, but I just realized that, hey, if I just commit suicide before age of reason, then my suicide will not count as a sin. And where do people without sin go? They go to heaven, right? And I found a get out of jail free card. I found a loophole in the system, right? I've been asked to play this game without anybody asking me if I want to, and the consequences of losing this game is too high for anybody to even wait around to see if they want to win. I would like, no, thank you. I'm just going to die, and I'm going to make sure that I go to heaven. I don't want to wait around to see if I'm going to be a good Muslim or not. I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? Maybe I will become an atheist. Oh, like that would be the worst case scenario, right? So maybe I even become an atheist.
So you jumped out a window?
Yes, I jumped out of the window because I wanted to make sure I die before I hit the age of reason, to make sure that there's nowhere I could go other than heaven. I actually even checked this with my religion teachers. I was like, what if I kill myself before age of reason? They're like, yeah, you'll go to heaven, but you shouldn't do that because if you earn heaven as an adult, rather than just go to heaven because you didn't get a chance to sin, you will go to a better part of heaven. Apparently, heaven has like multiple layers. The highest part is for martyrs, and that's where Muhammad is. I thought, I don't give a crap which part of heaven I go to. I'll take a parking lot for eternity. I just don't want to burn in hell. So I was like, okay, why? I would just be greedy and ask for a higher part of heaven, and maybe I lose and get hell. That's the worst gamble of all time. I'm not going to take my chances. I'm going to check out early. So I jumped out of my high school window, and it didn't work. I broke both my legs. I fractured my back. I broke my left arm. I was in a wheelchair on my butt for 7 months. And the only reason why I didn't try it again is because what I saw it did to my parents. My parents were devastated. They thought that they did something wrong. They thought that they thought that I was depressed. I wasn't depressed at all. Like I was so not depressed. I wasn't doing this because I was sad. I just wanted to make sure I don't go to hell. But once I saw, I felt guilty because of what I did to them.
So how do you go from there to atheism?
So once I hit age 15, I was like, okay, game over. I have to make sure that I play this game. Like, Armin, you can do this. How hard could this be? Just make sure you pray, you fast, and don't sin as much as you can. And then that part was the most difficult. I didn't realize how difficult that part is because I was hitting also the age that I started noticing girls more and more than I used to. And the problem with Islam is that God is not just a tyrant of your actions, but he's also a tyrant of your thoughts. If I think about the things that I'm not supposed to think about, that's also a sin. So I realized this is actually a lot harder than I thought it would be. I was constantly sinning because I was thinking about things I shouldn't be thinking about. But I also, this whole idea of hell never escaped as well because my parents were going to go to hell. My parents didn't pray. And I was like, in Iran, we watch, like, people watch soccer all the time. We watch Hollywood movies all the time. My dad watches BBC all the time. And I constantly look at these people and like, none of these people are Muslim. They're all going to go to hell forever. How could that be fair? So I kind of wanted to study other religions to see that maybe they're not going to go to hell. I couldn't justify loving God, sending most of the planet to hell forever. So I wanted to study other religions to see maybe like the kind of Islamic light. So they're not going to go to hell because it didn't just sit well with me. So I picked a book from a library called The History of Religion, and it basically went from like cavemen and all Egypt and everything. And the more I read that, the more it seemed like, oh, this looks like religion. Like, I didn't know any atheists, right? When I became an atheist, I was the only atheist I knew. Like, I didn't have all these people here that had Carl Sagan or Richard Dawkins and stuff. When I became an atheist, I was the first atheist I knew, and I thought I'm losing my mind. Because the more I studied history, the more it seemed like this is obviously like a man-made concept. And then we studied biology and the primordial soup and all that in school as well, and the Miller experiment. Like it seemed like everything can be explained. Either it could be explained, or if we don't know the explanation, maybe there is an explanation. Where's the God? Like maybe there is no need for God. And I was like looking around and see like if anybody else was coming to this realization. I felt very arrogant. I felt like this is an obvious con, but I felt like I'm making a claim. I felt like, Armin, how arrogant do you have to be to think that you're realizing something that nobody around you has realized? Are you actually saying that you have discovered a con job? Like all these professors, the doctors, your teachers, everybody around you has fallen for this con that you yourself, by yourself, figure out as a con. Like, that's why I went and started an online community to see, like, am I like, is something wrong with my brain that everybody's seeing that there's a God, and to me it seemed like it's a con job. So I started a community online to see if there's other atheists like me, and that's how Atheist Republic started. Atheist Republic started for a completely selfish reason. I just felt so I feel like I was losing my mind. I just wanted to see if I'm alone.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that when we come back from the break, Armin, about Atheist Republic and how you connected with other atheists and non-believers around the world. We're talking with Armin Navabi, founder of Atheist Republic and an author. And when we come back, we're going to look at a video of some of his podcasts about how he's communicating with other Muslims around the world. We'll be right back with more Freethought Matters.
Hi, I'm Ron Reagan, an unabashed atheist, and I'm alarmed by the intrusions of religion into our secular government. That's why I'm asking you to support the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the nation's largest and most effective association of atheists and agnostics, working to keep state and church separate, just like our founding fathers intended. Please support the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Ron Reagan, lifelong atheist, not afraid of burning in hell.
Thank you for watching Freethought Matters. You can find more content by the Freedom from Religion Foundation at our website, ffrf.org. Follow FFRF on Facebook, and you'll get notifications about all of our content, including whenever we go live on FFRF's Ask an Atheist. FFRF is also on YouTube, where all of our programs, including this show and our weekly news bites, are available to watch anytime. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the web.
And welcome back to Freethought Matters. I'm Dan Barker, and we're continuing our conversation with Armin Navabi, a former Muslim who's the founder of Atheist Republic, which has a lot of podcasts and videos that are very entertaining and educational. Let's take a quick look at a video of Armin on the street asking believers if it's okay to criticize religion.
If somebody comes here and says, "Hey, people, you should leave Islam because this,"
No.
They should be allowed.
You leave it, man.
No, but should they be allowed to come here and say what they want to say?
Yeah, but not provoke it.
No, like.
Don't come here, man. This is a mosque up there.
No,
people are praying, and you say, "Look, I got issue with you." Blah blah.
No,
this
no.
is provoking, man.
No, in a friendly way. Do you think it's okay for people to criticize Islam?
I don't know. No, I think it's not okay.
It's not okay?
It's not okay.
You're Muslim, right?
Yeah, I'm Muslim. Yeah.
So do you, if somebody criticizes Islam,
Yeah.
do you think that's bad? They shouldn't do
Obviously bad. Yeah. If someone do the criticize, they should be bad. Yeah. And the police need to attack them.
that? The police need to attack the person that's coming
Yeah.
and criticizing Islam.
Yeah.
Do you think it should be illegal? No?
I don't know.
What about Christianity? Should someone be able to criticize Christianity?
Yeah, no, I don't think so too. You can't criticize a religion.
If I'm a follower of a particular religion, I should not make a comment that can hurt the feelings of the people of other religion.
All religions, right?
All religions are right?
Yeah.
But Christianity teaches that Jesus is the Son of God. But can God have a child?
No.
So they're wrong.
Yeah, but that's what they believe, you know?
Yeah, but their beliefs are wrong, isn't it?
Yeah.
So say you said Christianity is wrong. But if you do it in a respectful way and tell your problems with the religion, that's okay?
In a respectful way, if you do so, if you criticize or whatever you say in a respectful way, you can do this, I think.
So if it's okay for somebody to say Christianity is wrong, why is it not okay for somebody to say Islam is wrong for some reason?
No,
okay?
it's okay. It's okay, yeah.
So wouldn't that be criticizing Islam?
It depends on the belief, right? If they believe, yeah, you can criticize Islam.
Yeah?
You can criticize, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So that's really fun to watch. You have dozens of videos like that out where you are confronting people, and you're very polite, and you're asking a lot of normal, honest questions to people. So those are some offerings at Atheist Republic. What else can people find at Atheist Republic, and what kind of a community is Atheist Republic?
Well, yeah, so Atheist Republic, the main goal is mostly for atheists to realize that they're not alone, that there's a community for them, that they're not isolated. So going out and reaching out to religious people is like a secondary goal. The main goal is for atheists themselves, right? And also for atheists to understand that not only they shouldn't feel like they need to hide or that they're isolated, but also that they don't have to be apologetic about their views. Like we want to create a world where atheists are accepted, not with the condition of silence, not with the condition of keeping their views about religion to themselves. And also, I just want to be clear that I am respectful and polite when I talk to religious people, but we are also extremely aggressive and not very respectful when we are trying to push for any limitations on our freedom of expression, right? So we have two different strategies for two different goals. If we're trying to change the opinions of religious people, we are extremely polite and very friendly. But when we are very aggressive and not very respectful, that's not necessarily for changing the opinions of religious people. That's when there's a red line or a barrier has been introduced to what we can say, and we want to make sure that we don't let that barrier stand.
So very briefly, we don't have much time here left, Armin. What do you say to people who say that without God, without Yahweh or Allah or Vishnu, you can't be a good person? How can you be good without God?
I mean, okay, so I mean, I dedicated an entire chapter on this on my book, Why There's No God. But I mean, where can I even begin? Like we want, how could you not be good? We want to be good. This is a natural desire that we have. This is like we are biologically wired to want to get pleasure out of seeing other people happy. And we get joy out of seeing people achieve their goals and see their dreams come true. There's like there's not that many higher levels of satisfaction of that. And this is just like us appeasing this natural desire that we have. So it's basically wired in our brain.
I've seen some of your videos where you ask people, Muslims and others, if it's okay to ridicule or mock religion. And some of the things I do are considered mocking or ridiculing. And I think there's a place for ridicule, as long as it's not your whole thing, you know, as long as you have arguments as well. But what do you think? Is it okay to mock religion?
Yes, it's not okay to mock religion. It's necessary to mock religion, especially when we're told that we can't mock religion. I think it's when people want to say that if people want to introduce limitations to how, not just what we say, but how we say it, then I think it becomes, at least some of us have the responsibility to make sure we say and do exactly the things that we're not supposed to, just to make sure that backfires.
Yeah. So, and you know, if it's a robust religion, it can stand it. It can take it. They shouldn't get their feelings hurt. I see that you have, your site is very popular. You have millions of visitors to your site, and you have a Facebook page as well. And you also have, what is it called? Leave a message. People can call in and leave a voicemail, and some of those are really fun to listen to. What are some of the problems and pressures and struggles that atheists are facing in different parts of the world right now? Well,
okay, so that's called Atheist Republic voicemails. You can search for it and you can leave your own message, and we broadcast it to all our audience. So look for that. But the main thing is that we are, when it comes to the demographics battle, we are winning. Atheism is growing globally. I used to be I was like very optimistic, but even my optimism was didn't see what was about to come. Like the numbers that we're seeing and the number of people that are abandoning religion is much faster than I could ever dream for. But what we're losing, though, is we're losing the political game. Even though our numbers are rising, religion is becoming more and more influential and more oppressive against atheists and non-religious people in most countries. And this is why most countries need a Freedom from Religion Foundation. I don't know if you guys are ever going to expand your work outside of the US, but either you guys should or somebody should copy your model, because it's not just about convincing people or to either leave religion or just accept, even if they're not leaving religion, to just accept atheists as their friends and neighbors without the condition of silence. It's also, we are already winning that. What we're missing is organizations like yours who are trying to remove the influence of religion from governments, because we are actually losing that. We're losing that battle in Egypt. We're losing that battle in Israel, in India, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in almost every country. Even though in all those countries, in Turkey, in all those countries, we're winning the demographic battle when it comes to fighting for secularism and removing the influence of religion. This is because a lot of atheists do not become politically active and do not support organizations like yours. This is why we don't, we need Freedom from Religion Foundation this is the kind of work that a lot of people dismiss, and this is why I tell people that a lot of Americans don't recognize the value of an organization like yours, because it's so removed from their lives, and because they see getting involved with politics and getting involved with activism as something that religious people do, and they don't want to be associated with that. So they're like, oh, you guys are getting too political. Well, congratulations, you didn't get political, and now religion rules over your lives. This is something like our organization like Atheist Republic can't do. We are more in a bottom-up approach, right? But we need more organization like Freedom from Religion Foundation everywhere to do the top-down approach, because it's not enough to just get more higher numbers. We need to like remove the oppression and remove the laws that are based on ancient scripture, and that's where, that's why I constantly endorse Freedom from Religion Foundation whenever I get the chance. But I wish I could do that with an organization like yours in other countries, but there's not that many of them.
If I can say amen, I read on your website about Malaysia, for example. A public official there was saying they have to hunt down the atheists. Well, let's hunt down those who are violating secular values and separation of state and church then. Well, thank you, Armin, for being on our show today, and I really appreciate all the work you are doing to educate the public.
Thank you so much. And if you can, guys, we are already very big on Facebook. We have more than 2 million followers there. But if you are interested in seeing our shows, find us on YouTube as well, Atheist Republic. We want to try to grow our YouTube channel. It's not growing as fast as we want, but Facebook, we're already huge over there. So. Well,
thank you, Armin Navabi, author of Why There Is No God. And thank you for watching Freethought Matters, because free thought matters.
Hi, I'm Steve Pinker. In my book, Enlightenment Now, I show that the world has become a better place as reason has been overcoming superstition and tribalism. But the values of the Enlightenment are under attack. That's why I'm a proud member of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, the nation's largest association of free thinkers working to keep state and church separate. Please join me in supporting the Freedom from Religion Foundation to ensure that our government is driven not by religion, but by reason.